Let me tell you a story. Chapter 2, Quiet Infiltration. Amber had left early again. She kissed my cheek without looking up, and I watched her go. The quiet house suddenly too loud. I tried to push Victoria from my mind, but it was impossible. There was something about the way she moved into my space yesterday, so casual yet deliberate, like she rehearsed every moment. Later that afternoon, I caught her outside again, pruning the rose bushes that bordered her porch. The sunlight caught her hair, but it wasn't the brightness that held me. It was the steady calm in her eyes, like she was measuring me. "Marcus," she said, voice smooth but light. "I was just thinking, do you ever get tired of keeping everything so perfect?" I hesitated. "Perfect?" She smiled slow and knowing, fingers tracing a loose curl at her temple. "You wear the good husband act like armor, but everyone has cracks." She stepped closer, voice dropping just enough to be private. "I don't want to break you. I just want to see what's underneath." I swallowed, trying to keep my face neutral. "You don't know me." "Maybe not," she said, tilting her head. "But I think I'm starting to." She glanced around, then lowered her voice. "You don't have to tell me everything. Actions speak louder than words." The air between us pulsed with something unspoken, something that made my skin prickle. I wanted to step back. I wanted to turn away, but I didn't. That night, my phone buzzed, a new message from a number I didn't recognize. "Don't close your blinds tonight. I want to be the last thing you see before sleep." I stared at the screen, heart racing. I looked out the window on my side of the bed, the one that faced directly toward Victoria's. Her lights were low, just enough to see her silhouette through the glass. She was already there, watching me. Wearing nothing but a black silk robe, loosely tied. She smiled, slow, sly, like she already knew I wouldn't look away. My breath caught. I should have shut the blinds, should have turned off the lamp, rolled over and closed my eyes, pretended I never saw her. Yet I stayed. Across the room, Amber stirred slightly in her sleep, murmuring something unintelligible, and turning over, her back to me now. I looked back out the window. Victoria's hands had slipped beneath the robe, fingertips dragging slowly across her collarbone. She didn't rush. She moved like this was her ritual, like she wanted me to watch it unfold, all for me. She pulled the robe open, just enough to expose the soft swell of her breast, the subtle curve of her waist. Her fingers traveled down the line of her body, pausing, teasing, deliberate. My pulse thundered. She let her hand slip between her legs, eyes never leaving mine. Her expression didn't change, still that same calm, quiet command. She wasn't putting on a show. She was pulling me into it. I shifted in bed, trying to ignore the ache that had taken root deep in my gut. The guilt, the heat, none of it made sense anymore. I was on the edge of something I couldn't name, and Victoria was holding the line like she owned it. Her mouth parted softly as her fingers moved in slow rhythm. My throat tightened. I could hear the breath catch in my chest before I realized I leaned forward, hand pressed against the window pane, like that could close the space between us. She mouthed something across the dark. "You're mine." Then she stood still, half naked, and turned away slowly, disappearing into the shadow like she hadn't just broken something inside me. I lay back in bed, jaw clenched, staring at the ceiling. Beside me, Amber exhaled in her sleep, peaceful, unknowing. But I was wide awake, and I knew this wasn't over. Thank you for listening. Comment below what I should read next.